Hey, what's up? It's Maira Garcia with SouthByTexasState.com. We're hanging out at South Congress Avenue next to the second floor offices of Rooster Teeth Productions, and we're about to talk to Burnie Burns. His offices are located right next to the lovely Pita Pit, so how convenient.
And the panel's all about just how to connect with your audience online. I'm a big fan of that. I love that as a producer I can make something and then instantly put it out directly to the audience without trying to go find a distributor or try to sell it to anyone else or basically convince some corporation somewhere that what I've made is worthy for them to put in front of an audience. And I can do it directly. And so our panel's about how to connect with your audience, how to grow that audience, and then maintain the people who like your work. Well, I think the biggest secret to building an audience online is having consistent content. There's a lot more tools out there, but as more tools come out, there's more noise, and I think the way you can really separate yourself from the pack is to make sure that your content you're putting out is consistent, not only in its quality, but how often you're putting it out. Even if it's once a month, as long as people know they can come back once a month and see new content from you, it's very important.
Your panel is talking about how to, create a larger audience online. But, if you look up on the internet, you search red versus blue or, just Burnie Burns, it says, you guys kind of became instant internet celebrities. But, was there a little bit more to that? Like, what was the path you guys took that you feel got you to where you are now?
Well, luckily for us, it actually was pretty instant. I mean, that's pretty accurate. A, we were based in a very popular video game. And B, there wasn't a whole lot of other stuff out there to compete with us. So it really was a pretty quick ramp. I mean, we put out the first episode and then a PSA, which is like one of our side episodes that doesn't take part in the story. And then we put out our second episode. And within that 2-week period, we were linked on FARC and linked on Slashdot and linked by Penny Arcade, which were 3 huge sites at the time. And we had to go from serving all the videos from a little machine that was in the corner of my office at my corporate job to we had 3 different servers in 3 different cities all across the nation just to handle the server load. And it was pretty fast. I mean, it was like, if you looked at it, it was just like this spike where we went like this, had some views, and then wham, it went straight up. And by, I think, 6 months later, we were doing just under 1 million views a week, which at the time was pretty brutal because video wasn't where it is today either. Like the compression codecs that were out there for the video, our videos that were 5 minutes were like 60 megabytes, whereas now they can be 12 megabytes. So it was just, we had to find a way to serve all that video and find a way fast.
So the big difference between, then and now, obviously, is there are so many websites out there that people can utilize to, I guess, get their cred up on the internet. So, what would you advise to people who are maybe, looking for that? Should they start on their own or should they, use YouTube, social media? What do you think is the best path?
Well, I think I'm going to be someone on the panel, I think, that goes a little bit against the grain of where everyone else is, because they're going to be probably talking about all the tools that are out there now, like social media sites, Twitter and Facebook, and how you can use those to promote yourself. And I'll be heavily pushing the older model, which is make sure you carve out a part of the internet for yourself, that you're not just tied into YouTube and you're not just tied into Facebook or Twitter, and that's how people know you, because those sites come and go. And you're going to rise and fall with the popularity of those sites. And it's going to be hard enough to maintain your own popularity and your own work without trying to keep your mind in the game of what's the next big thing. Is Twitter going to be around in a year, or is there going to be something else that replaces it? I mean, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, if you'd asked me if MySpace was going to fall out of the limelight the way it has, I would have said no way, because MySpace did something that I have never seen before, where they replaced the personal homepage. People stopped using the term homepage and they just said, go to my MySpace. And now Facebook is replacing that. So there's sure to be something else that comes along. And the only thing I think, the long-term strategy for maintaining a digital fan base, is to have your own presence on the web, make sure that people always know they can find you there. That regardless of the popularity of other social media sites or whatever else comes along, you'll always be at that site. I don't look at sites like YouTube and all like MetaCafe or any site that shows video. I don't look at them as being any different than say like a Warner Brothers or any studio that would take your film and distribute it. They make a lot of money from it. The one thing about YouTube is they don't make their own videos. I mean, they're just basically like a network. You know, they're an internet network as opposed to a television network. But that content is valuable. With just the technological architecture, they would not be able to do anything. They need that content. And I realize that. And you know, I've made a living on the content now for 6 years, and so I understand that. But I do understand the value too of people who want to get their work out there as much as possible and just become known. But then there's always that moment of, wow, I have over 100 million views combined on YouTube. What does that mean? You know, I know YouTube is making a lot of money on ad revenue, and people know me when I walk on the street. Some of these producers that do YouTube stuff, but then are they making a living at it? I mean, some of them are still, you know, have a day job, and they're one of the most popular people on the internet. So I'm pretty wary of that. Like I said, I was fortunate that we had already been established before YouTube came along, but it's definitely a big challenge for them. While it's extra work at the beginning, I would say someone should definitely carve out their own piece of the internet for themselves and then use those other major corporate sites, and remember they are corporate sites, to help them build their business.
So tell me, what are you looking forward to at South by this year?
Oh man, you can look through South by Southwest and like pick out the panels that you want to go to, and it's usually, honestly, it's based on who's on the panel, right? Like BJ Novak, the guy who's one of the main writers for The Office, is going to be on a panel. And it just seems like that'd be a great panel to go to. But there's always some random little panel where you end up going to it. And I shouldn't say little, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's not one of the higher marquee names that are on it. And it's just amazing. And you'll find out about new stuff and stuff that'll blow you away, you know? And so I think that's a great thing. I actually go to less keynotes than I do, you know, just the normal little panels that are out there with maybe 20 people in them or something like that. You'd be amazed what you can find. And the audiences in those panels too. That's the other thing people forget is you'll come here and everyone looks kind of forward, but it is an interactive conference, and so everyone who's there works in interactive themselves, and so just the people around you. And if you get these smaller, tighter groups, you can really find people that are doing amazing stuff, even people that don't have a panel. The interactive conference at South by Southwest thing is totally unique because every other conference or festival or whatever you want to call it that I've ever been to is really just a shopping event where they're there to sell something. And I don't think the interactive at South by Southwest is that way. I mean, even music and film at South by Southwest, the bands want to get signed, the films want to find distribution. At interactive, I mean, it's really just sometimes people showing cool stuff. And I think it's just the nature of the industry right now where people are just more into like showcasing and, you know, showing cool stuff. And there's really isn't that overall feeling of, we're here to get something done. You know, we're here to have some kind of business deal by the time we leave. That's really unique and very cool.
You can catch Burnie Burns at the panel Marketing Meets New Media, Building Your Audience Online, Sunday at 3:30 p.m. This is Maira Garcia reporting for SXTXState.com.